Hello everyone and welcome to Roadmap. So today's topic is genetics part 2, and if you like the video don't forget to click on thumbs up button below. You can also subscribe for more video updates. Now topics to be covered are patterns of inheritance, genetic diseases in humans, eugenics, eugenics in Nazi Germany. So coming to the patterns of inheritance, first tell me that what is exactly genetics? What it deals about? So genetics is the study of heredity, and it is regarded as a science which explains the similarities and differences among the related organisms. So the heredity is transmitted from parents to offspring as individual characteristics which are controlled by genes. The genes are linearly distributed on chromosome at fixed positions which are called as loci. And a gene may have different forms called as alleles. Now one allele is transferred from father and the other from mother. Allele is nothing what it is exactly. So allele is each of two or more alternative forms of a gene that arise by mutation and found at same place on chromosome. Allele is regarded as dominant if the trait is exhibited due to its presence, and allele is said to be recessive if its effect is masked by a dominant allele. Individuals are said to be homozygous if both alleles are same. When alleles are different, they are called as heterozygous. So there are some of the patterns of inheritance. Now the pattern of inheritance of monogenic traits may occur in various ways, like the autosomal dominant, autosomal recessive, and sex-linked. So let's learn about them one by one in detail. Now coming to the autosomal dominant inheritance, in this I'll suggest you that look at the figure while explanation because it will give you a clear understanding. A normal allele may be designated as small n, while an autosomal dominant disease allele as capital N. So the male with AA, the NN, that is small n and capital N genotype is an affected one, while the female with NN, that is small nn, are the ones with normal. So half of the genes from affected male will carry the disease allele. On mating, the male and female gametes are mixed in different combinations. So the result will be that half of the children will be heterozygous and have the disease. So heterozygous, that is the one with capital and small n, that is 50% are dominant and the other 50% are recessive, like small n, which do not show the disease. So the example of some other autosomal dominant inherited disease such as breast cancer gene, beta thalassemia, familial hypercholesterolemia. So these are some of the examples of autosomal dominant inheritance. So this is the example which explains that how the autosomal dominant inheritance takes place. Now coming to the autosomal recessive inheritance. Now from the figure you will be getting that autosomal recessive inheritance, that both parents are carrier. So there is a carrier father and carrier mother. So after mating, what will happen exactly is 25% of the children will be normal. 50% of chances that they will have the carrier, and the other 25% will get affected. So this might be a case where they will also have the disease. So the gametes of carrier male and female both with genotype get mixed in this case, and the heterozygous carrier parents, there is 1/4 chance of having an affected child. So the example of such inheritance are the cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, and phenylketonuria are some of the examples of autosomal recessive disorders where this case might be seen, which is the autosomal recessive inheritance. Now coming to the sex-linked inheritance, it is also called as X-linked inheritance, and what happens in these cases is the father's genes, that is XY, are normal, while that of XX mother's genes are the carrier's genes. And when they'll produce children, half of the children will be affected, and the children, no female children is affected in this case. This is because of the fact that it possesses only one X chromosome and there is no dominant allele to mark its effect. So the color blindness and hemophilia are good examples of sex-linked inheritance, and this is about the different patterns of inheritance. Now, besides gene mutations, chromosomal abnormalities also result in genetic diseases. So they are also a cause of genetic disease. Now, coming to the aneuploidy. Now, what is exactly is the presence of abnormal number of chromosomes within the cells is referred to as aneuploidy. And the most common aneuploid condition is trisomy, in which 3 copies of a particular chromosome are present in the cell instead of the normal 2, like the example trisomy 21, which causes the Down syndrome. Now, trisomy 18, that results in the Edwards syndrome, and these are the examples of autosomal aneuploidy. Now, in case of sex-linked aneuploidy, the sex chromosome occur as 3 copies. Example, the phenotypically male causing klinefelter syndrome has XXY, and the trisomy X is phenotypically a female with XXX. So this is the genetic diseases that are caused in humans. Coming to the eugenics. Now, eugenics is a science of improving human race based on genetics, improving the traits of plants and animals through breeding programs, which has been in practice for centuries. Now, it is highly controversial subject due to the social, ethical, and political reasons. And the proponents of eugenics argue that people with desirable and good traits should reproduce, while those with undesirable characteristics should not. Advocates of eugenics do not force any policy, but they try to convince people to perform their duty voluntarily. Now, the object of eugenics is to limit the production of people who are unfit to live in the society. So, this is about the eugenics. Coming to the eugenics in Nazi Germany. So, what happened exactly is Germany developed its own eugenic program during 1930s. And a law on eugenic sterilization was passed in 1933. In the span of these 3 years, the compulsory sterilization was done on about 250,000 people who suffered from hereditary disabilities, feeble-mindedness, epilepsy, blindness, physical deformities, and drug or alcohol addiction. So the German government committed many atrocities in the name of racial impurity. So other countries do not support this kind of eugenics as the Germans supported in the name of racial purity. So this is about the eugenic in Nazi Germany. So in this video we learned about the eugenics, what is eugenic, then eugenic in Nazi Germany, and then what are the different in pattern of inheritance. So in coming videos we'll learn more about genetics. So stay tuned for more lessons to come. If you have any doubts, feel free to ask in the comment section below. And thank you for watching.